Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Ooh, welcome to Right and Wrong. This is the show where we try to wake up the woke by talking common sense about the issues of the day. I'm your host, Brian Ruka, and with me, as always, over there is my man and yours, producer Juice. He likes to go by the truth box out there on the World Wide Web because he just likes to spit the truth all day, every day. So, my man, Truth Box, how you holding up today, brother? What's going on?
I'm holding. Excited. I've been raring to do a show, but you're keeping me locked up. I'm ready to roll.
I love it. I love it. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that was me last week getting tied up. Couldn't do a show. So wanted to save all the energy to this debate reaction program that we're going to give you today. So I guess without further ado, Juice, let's jump right into this thing because this very well could be the one and only presidential debate that we'll get to see between President Trump and Vice President puppeteer, if you will, Kamala Harris. So we all know she's installed into the spot she was. Trump beat the guy, her boss, so badly the first time around, the most badly, the biggest defeat in
Beautiful
debate
debate.
history. It was a bloodbath. That the guy dropped out and they installed this lady in his place. So it wasn't that. I will tell you guys that right off the bat. But me and Juice were talking pre-show a little bit here before we start bringing you the clips. But the reaction a day and a half out seems to be people disappointed in our boy, the Donald. And I'm not really sure if I can agree with that. How about you, Juice?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't watch it then, and I saw a lot of the backlash. Wow, he got smoked, and a lot of that before I actually went and watched it. So I was prepared for something way worse. I think
Yeah.
he was a little low energy, and she was practiced and polished. I mean, everything out of her mouth was a lie, but she, outperformed herself, and he kind of played down to the competition. But it wasn't a Kamala bloodbath,
No,
as
not
people
at all.
described it. Like,
But like, I think we have to take into account that the media was going to declare her the winner no matter what, as long as she didn't die on stage like the guy before her did. Like, quite,
yeah,
I guess, not literally. I want to say quite literally, but quite figuratively, the man died on stage there. But she didn't do that. So she had a pulse. She was able to deliver her rehearsed talking points and her lines. So they're going to give it a win. Now, I don't know about you, but 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes into it, I would say Trump was well on his way to delivering a pretty solid victory. Like, one of those where the team plays with the lead the whole game, and then they just hand off and run the ball to keep the clock going all game. And she did something that we're going to highlight, so I don't want to spoil it, but she took him off his game, and I don't think he quite recovered from there. But I still think he delivered a solid performance, especially when you factor in after that opening start, the moderators jumped in and started making it a 3-on-1. So I turned to Ashley early on and mentioned that, okay, moderators are doing okay. Normal question, asking it, getting out of the way. Ask, get out of the way. And I believe that was the case until she was floundering, Trump was succeeding, and then they decided to go in and come to her aid.
and then her good old sorority sister came in to bail her out. Did you? I
Who's
saw
that?
that just today. Lindsay, whatever. What was the girl's name? Lindsay Davis, or
Oh, yeah, the moderator?
the girl
The
moderator.
fact checker
Yeah,
on stage?
sorority sisters with Kamala at Alpha
Oh,
Kappa
wow.
Alpha or whatever.
Wow.
Historically black sorority. That's a
Now,
little.
That's suspect. I was gonna go for a WWE reference a minute ago and say that like it was like Hulk Hogan trying to take on Ted DiBiase, IRS, and Brutus the Baba Beefcake all at once. Like when the hero is fighting one-on-one against DiBiase, the ref gets bumped, knocked out, and all of a sudden the cronies come in and start helping him out.
Mhm.
That's what I
Slide
felt
right
like.
back out of the ring before the ref wakes up.
Exactly. And I guess that holds true even more when you find out that apparently she's same sorority as Kamala there.
They
That's
stick together. That stuff's like thicker than blood.
absolutely Omega Beta Data Zeta.
Alpha, beta, zeta.
Crazy. Okay, so that's kind of the gist of where I'm coming from with this. I know we have a mutual fan of the show here, our boy Pa B, and I didn't respond to the text he sent us yesterday because I knew I wanted to save my thoughts for the episode. Why give him a simple answer in a text and maybe dissuade him from
give him an
tuning
hour.
in? I want him to tune in and hear it here from the horse's mouth. So I was surprised though. He texted us and was like, man, not too impressed with Trump. So that's where we're coming from. That's kind of to set things up. And I think we're going to do a good job here breaking it down and kind of showing you why we feel the way we feel on this. So, hopefully we'll see where we're at the end of this. So Juice, you want to start things off with, let's start at the top, I guess. Let's go with
I'd like to welcome in my good friend before any of that.
Oh, my man. Thank you so much. See what happens when I don't have a motto all
Make it
ready
a
to
4-on-1. Flair's coming in.
Absolutely. Let's welcome him in, ladies and gentlemen, because guess what? It is showtime, baby. Woo!
Showtime! Woo! Woo!
Wow. 93 episodes in, Juice, and it's the first time I forgot about the Rolex wearing, limousine riding, private jet flying champion of the world, 17-time champ, Ric Flair. I can't believe I forgot about him. Wow.
That's why I'm here, brother.
That one's going to eat at me all week long, brother. I might introduce him twice next week. All right. So now that we covered that portion of it, let's go into my favorite moment. Not my favorite moment, but what I think is actually Trump's best moment. I think this was what, if there is, I don't know how there is anybody, but if there is anybody that's still undecided out there, kind of in the middle, trying to watch a debate like this the other night to decide who they want to cast their ballot for. I think this was a great comment for them, and it was Trump's closing statement, and I just think he crushed it. So, Juice, why don't you give that to us?
Just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack. We're not going to take fossil fuel. We're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year, they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just ask one simple question. Why didn't she do it? We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. All over the world, they're laughing. I know the leaders very well. They're coming to see me. They call me. We're laughed at all over the world. They don't understand what happened to us as a nation. We're not a leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to end up in a third world war, and it'll be a war like no other because of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. I rebuilt our entire military. She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan. What these people have done to our country, and maybe toughest of all, is allowing millions of people to come into our country. Many of them are criminals, and they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
Fire, right?
Yeah, it's great. Fighting with Russia, or whatever, however he said.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's great. And I just think he nails it. And the aggravating thing is the reason why this wasn't a slam dunk Trump victory, and maybe why we got a text like we got, is because that should have been his playbook the entire night. My only thing that like frustrates me there is he should have went to that well all night long, baby. He shouldn't have waited till the very end to drop the "why hasn't she done it yet?"
Yeah.
Just
And why
anytime.
don't the people who are for her, voting for her, keep, like, she doesn't have to take credit for the failures of,
Yep.
what's currently going on. And then you'll see like them be like, oh, like, what do you like that she's done? Like, they can't give you one thing that she's done
Nothing.
well either, but she also
No.
doesn't get credit for the failures. And it's just like,
Exactly.
she's like running with no record. Like, no,
Well,
you're
we've
supposed to
said it
be
on
for the
this show.
past thing. Like, these results count, and we hold
Yep.
you accountable in the next election.
Exactly. And we've said it here before, but like she wants all the prestige and like the credibility of being the vice president and being a senator and that stuff without any of the responsibility of being saddled with the decisions that were made while in those positions and stuff like that. You know, she doesn't want to be known as the farthest, most liberal senator that was, that was in there when she was a senator. She was to the left of Bernie Sanders, but she wants to be propped up as a senator, like who you can trust because she achieved a historic position, same as the vice president. So it's kind of crazy in a way that she wants to have her cake and eat it too, I guess. God bless you.
But thanks.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so it's just, it's weird.
Mind-boggling.
Oh, there we go. So that is where he should have lived all night. The very first question of the night was, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? You know, that simple question that everybody should ask themselves when they go into the voting booth. And she danced around it, never answered it, circled. And by the time it went to Trump, he kind of missed his opportunity to drop a line like this right off the bat. He started kind of talking about himself a little bit too much and rambled a little bit. And I think
If the answer
then
to
and
that
there,
question is no, to the folks at home, if the answer to that question is no, you're not better off now, well, this is the person to my left
Exactly.
who is responsible, or partly responsible,
Exactly.
or the one that's only going to keep responsibility going forward for that.
Exactly. And
Boom.
and I
And
think
just live there all night, right?
all night, like anytime he
How
bring
things
it
going
right
now?
back to that.
Yeah, how were the last
And
3 years?
he had an opportunity where this is the only time in our lifetime where somebody's seeking a non-consecutive, second opportunity at it. So we usually you get to see somebody who's an incumbent trying to hold their spot versus an unknown, or if they don't have any, if the incumbent can't run again, then it's two unknowns, both presenting a vision. This time, this election right now, we have two knowns. Yet, to the point I think you were kind of making there, is she's trying to run as an unknown and optimistic, like, we can do this, we could do this, we will do this, as
Yeah, the
opposed to
hope.
you
Yeah,
did
change,
this.
hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where it's like, no, you did this, these were your decisions, own your record. He did this, these were his decisions, he can own his record. Which one were you better at? Like, where were we better off? and we all know the answer to that. It's
Dude, you
pretty
seen
easy.
Biden wearing a MAGA hat today? A
Oh,
Trump
it was
hat?
awesome. Yeah, that was great. And to be honest with you, I got to give the old man a little bit of
I
credit for
know,
having fun
messing
with
around.
it.
Like now, he's no pressure on him. He's like Mr.
Exactly.
Fun Grandpa.
Exactly.
You know.
And it's like I heard this said other places.
What are the
as
odds
well.
though that he sniffed that hat as he was like?
Oh, he probably did. But it's like that's where you can see the hints of why he was a successful politician, at least, where she would have been completely stiff. I know she was there as well, but I didn't see any video of her. She doesn't know how to interact with people. At
And dude,
least Biden can fake it.
she did a rally today in North Carolina.
Yeah.
She looked like she's cocky now. She is
Oh
unhinged
yeah.
up there. Like seems like she got a little loose again. You know, they used to be like, is she
Okay.
drunk or not? Like she didn't seem that in this
Okay.
one, right? They had her sobered
Yeah.
up. But then
Absolutely.
she's these new ones, dude. She's like
Oh
like
boy.
riffing on how much she won, you know, the debate and stuff.
Oh
Getting a
boy.
little head's getting a little too big. I like this though. Knock her down a peg, screw up a bit, get a little
Oh
cocky.
yeah,
Get
absolutely.
cocky and talk about some policy.
Okay,
Yeah.
actually, so this is again sidebar a little from where we're going, but after this debate, we heard a lot of a lot of people saying, and I said it at the start of the show, that this is probably going to be the only debate that we'll see between them, which I think is ridiculous. Like it should be like a law somewhere. You have to debate 3 times, like town hall setting. Like I love that stuff. I wouldn't want either side to avoid it. I understand like the incentive for each side to want to avoid it, or if someone's losing, why you'd want to have it again, blah, blah, blah.
1 physical challenge, 2
Yeah,
1 town
yeah,
hall.
give us one of those. Yeah. So I was surprised though that I heard the Harris team calling for a second debate, like that they would want a second one. I figured that would be it for her, in and out one time.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, but that I don't think he would get caught off guard like
I'm
that.
very surprised by that. But I think if I'm Trump, like, and he's already said like he doesn't want to do a second one because of how unbiased, the moderators are.
Yeah,
like,
you can't do it that same way.
no, but I still think he should just call her blunt. Like, okay, like I think she's expecting him to say that, and I think he should jump on it. And I think even if he's at a disadvantage again, like the more people hear of her, the more people see of her, the less likable she is. The whole reason this is even close at all is because she's only been the candidate for the last 30 days. If she was the candidate in February, no way he'd be smoking her at this point. She's unlikable. She's just irritating. She's got bad mannerisms. She's got
She looks
an
so
annoying
rude in the
voice.
side, side by
Yeah,
side.
horrible. This thing.
Yeah.
Like, what was that thing the whole
She's
time?
just so condescending, man.
Very condescending.
All right, let's keep it
So
moving.
I want that. All right.
Aren't you got plans for tonight or something? You got something going on?
Yeah, I'm going to see Am I Racist in about an hour or so. So we got to get this thing tight.
Yeah.
All right.
We're 18 minutes through one
One clip, and
clip.
we got about 15 clips tonight. All right. So, having just talked shit about her for a while there, let's give her kudos and show you what I think was her best moment of the night. And I alluded to it earlier when I said that this is where the debate shifted, and she definitely got under his skin, and I don't think he really recovered all that great after this moment. So, Juice, you want to give it to us?
Really?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
You see, people are bored and tired at his things.
It was so canned too, like
brutal.
His faces. On the contrary, remember I said her faces were so.
Yeah.
He's a.
Yeah, yeah. You see
It's
the
so
eyes,
funny,
the eyes
like,
moved
yeah,
when
yeah.
she said people are
Boring,
bored
yeah,
out of
exhaustion.
yeah, but that worked, and he took the bait. She was like that's the scene in Jaws where Chief Brody's sitting there doing the chum, throwing it out like and all of a sudden the shark comes up because you're throwing all the bloody guts in the water. That's all she did. And she wanted him. She wanted him to latch onto that, get aggravated about that, and forget about the rest of it. You know, and that's his personality. It's what makes him great, but it's also
Oh yeah,
his
he's
kryptonite.
offended if you think his rally sucks.
Absolutely. Just like he was pissed. The thing that pissed him off the most in the Biden debate was challenging his golf score.
Yeah,
So
we
he
seen
could,
your swing. We know your swing.
yeah. He couldn't stand that. And that's part of the ego that comes with him. But he just he couldn't. He's like, it's so important to him. Like, I turn out way bigger crowds than you do. My crowds are the best crowds, the best rallies. Everybody has a great time. Phenomenal rallies.
I've been to one. I was shut
Believe
out.
me.
I was
Believe
shut
me.
outside. I went to one, filled up, sold out. Watched
And
it
you weren't
outside on the
bored even
jumbo.
out there, were you?
No, it was buzzing.
So that, like I said, though, I'll give her some kudos because it worked. She didn't want to engage in the actual issues, and she was able to take them, distract them. And if they do a second one, that's what he needs to avoid next time around. So moving right along, let's go to a moment that I think I missed there. We're going to shift into the Trump closing remarks, where I think his best moments. But how about these ones here are going to be our, I guess, mine, Juice. I know you liked these as well. So these are our like favorite Trump moments of the night. Maybe not necessarily his like top notch for that, normal, average, middle of the road voter, but for people like us who are in on the man already, this was like A plus. So why don't we go with that first one that I skipped over, Juice?
Okay.
And this was hilarious, and I'll tip my cap to Mrs. Juice for pointing this one out, because when I was prepping the show, I kind of forgot about this, and it is just gold. It's pure Trump gold right here.
Even know if he's where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they
here,
threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know, is he our president? But we have a president,
Mr. President,
that doesn't know he's alive.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong? They threw him out like a dog.
Yeah, more of that talk, like, right? That beginning,
Yeah.
that first 15 minutes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I think I know he came back at the end there with the closing thing, but I think it's a long, he usually talks like an hour and a half anyways, but to be debating, he might have got tired in the later rounds.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but he got distracted, I think, in a way. Like, I don't know what it feels like to prep for a debate. Look, we prep for a show here, and I easily distracted into sidebarring us in our conversation just here. Now imagine if you're in a situation where you're going up against someone completely different than you, thinks completely different than you, and you're taking questions that are framed in a way that are all, against you. I think it'd be very easy to kind of get aggravated, get frustrated, want to combat what you hear in there, and all of a sudden you forget like the 6 points you wanted to make,
And you're a very verbose guy on a time limit.
Yeah. So that's got to be tough. All right. So this is the
moment.
This is the point where I'll give this one a solid C, maybe C plus. Okay. So I give him an A for effort because I love what he was going for with it. I just don't know if he landed it exactly how he wanted to, but it was a callback to the old Kamala strategy when she went up against Pence 4 years ago. So, Juice, why don't you give us this one?
Yeah, primetime Trump knocks this out of the park. You're right.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's still good, but yeah, there you go.
Different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out She went out in Minnesota.
Hilarious.
Does that sound familiar? It'd be funny if she was like, "Not really, because I'm speaking."
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he butchered the line. I'm talking now, and then like I think it's better if you kind of first you'd have to say I'm speaking, not I'm talking, and then just keep going with it. Like the fact that like you don't tell a joke and then be like, oh, like,
you get it? Yeah.
you get it? You get the point, you know? And I think everybody that would get excited about that and that would play to would have gotten it without the
Yeah, if he just said it like 3
added.
times, "I'm speaking. I'm speaking."
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's how we should have done it. And that's what I said though. I'll give him, kudos for trying to do it, but the delivery wasn't the greatest. Now, he kind of went back to it, and this is what probably he should have done because there's only one Trump. Like Trump is Trump, man. And he did the same thing she was doing. He did the same thing he just tried to do in the clip we just showed you, but he made it his own in this one. And I think it played a lot better. In this one, I'll give him a solid A for. So, Juice, let's see when he did later in the debate, he brought it to this.
I'll give you a minute here.
Putin would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow. Quiet, please. He would have been sitting in Moscow, much happier than he is right now, but eventually.
Dude,
Quiet, please.
Unbelievable, right?
Quiet,
So,
please. Like without even looking at her, kind of.
Yep, focused, dead serious, not doing it to try to get a reaction out of people, but it did the exact same thing as the I'm speaking, like, except it didn't make him look like a condescending, like pre-planned thing. Like that was natural. That was him.
Looked like a stern leader.
Exactly. Stern, in the zone. Like I could see him doing that to Putin. Like, could you see her doing that to a rival?
Dude, I'm most scared of that. Like
not
her
at all.
going on the foreign policy stage.
Like imagine that, her against another leader of a rival country. I'm speaking. I'm
giggling
speaking.
and then giggling.
Like, no, not at all. So that moment, I really liked. I thought that was a great one. Now let's keep this thing moving along and get to Money Inc. that we touched on earlier. We got DiBiase, IRS, and Brutus. Brutus was Hogan's guy, but I think he turned on him at one point. So
Virgil, you need Virgil.
Yeah, Virgil. There we go. Thank you, Juice. Yeah. So Money Inc. and those guys, they're out to team up on the Hulkster, and this is when the moderators actively put themselves into this debate. I don't know, I actually wouldn't mind going back and watching some older debates just for fun. Maybe I will do this, but since when did moderators start fact checking people in real time? I don't think that should be their role. Ask the question, get out of the way, right? Like,
yeah, 100%. I mean, like, unless you're fact checking both, but you're not.
We know they're not, and they didn't. So if you think Donald Trump's a liar and an exaggerator, let us make that decision. Let the reaction after the fact call him out for it. Don't in real time start trying to do it while you're there, just asking the questions and supposedly remaining neutral. So,
and especially if it's not black and white, like
exactly,
say like, oh, that word was taken out of context, or what have you. Like, how are you fact checking that in real time? If we don't even know if the jury's still out.
It's absurd. Like I don't think we pulled up the this clip because again, it's hard to decide which ones we want to do and which ones we don't. But the guy Muir at one point, he tried to fact check Trump on his tone, on his sarcasm. Like, you know what I mean? Like Trump was like, "Well, I said that sarcastically," and the guy's like,
"Oh, I think we have that though." When he's
okay,
it's about the election results.
Okay.
Isn't it? When he's
yeah.
where a hair off, a whisker.
A whisker off. Okay, yeah, good call. So
Yeah.
we'll be bringing that to you. So actually, Juice, do you want to jump that and give that
Yeah.
one to us next?
Yeah,
We're gonna
I
show
think
you
this
the
is it.
moderator's fact checking. So I think this is the one that I ruined by spoiling the ending.
Let's not count it out. I don't know if I have the full clip. You know how you asked for extra.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll
To
see.
this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say that.
sarcastically.
But
You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it. And they should have sent it back to the legislatures for approval. I got almost 75 million votes, the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told if I got 63, which was what I got in 2016, you can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about an election as fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls, and we have to have it. We have to have borders, and we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad.
Sorry,
Okay.
but yeah, what
No, so
happens there?
that's where. Sorry, I got myself thrown off there. So you heard the exchange there. We saw that. So he follows up as soon as Trump finishes, and he's like, "Well, I mean, I didn't detect any sarcasm there, but I guess." And then he goes to like Harris.
Along
Why
with
is this so bad?"
along with our fact checkers, we also have sarcasm indicators. Like
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
it
Like,
didn't the red light didn't go off.
yeah.
On the
Yeah.
sarcasm detector.
Yeah. So it's like, come on, we're really going to do that? We're pose the question. I don't think it's worthy of even bringing that up. That's a kind of a stupid question at this point in my mind, but whatever. If you guys want
Because
to
it's
ask that
obviously
question,
rigged.
yeah. So, so yeah, thank you. So if you want to throw that out there, though, you want to ask that question, that's fine. But let him make his answer, like you said, like, oh, okay, this is I was obviously being sarcastic. Like, yeah, this
I know,
thing.
and he goes, "I didn't detect any sarcasm in the tone."
Yes,
Well, do people
yes,
detect sarcasm differently? Like, how are you
yeah.
interjecting about
Like
the way you
you
heard
perceived it.
the clip? Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, like come on. So we had that, and right before that, the topic of abortion came up, and to be honest with you, I think the whole framing of the question and even the question in general was kind of ridiculous. So they started with like, kind of broadly abortion with like, the Dobbs decision, Roe v. Wade being removed, and in the same question brought up this whole Florida one that Trump was recently asked about, where it was like a 6-week proposal. Like, I don't know all the details of it. So I'm just giving you Cliff Notes version of it. And Trump kind of got himself hung up by
Like they
answering.
have a 6 week right now. It's a 6 week thing. If it goes over 6 weeks, then you can't get the abortion. But which he says is for his liking too short. You never know.
Mhm.
Blah blah blah. Exceptions. But the other one that would replace it was like unlimited.
Exactly.
So then he's
That
like,
was what
and
was
then he
on the
said, "Yeah,
ballot.
I'm going to vote for it at first," before he knew what it was, and then
Yep.
he took that back and said, "Whoa, I'm not voting. Like that's not.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it as
Exactly.
is instead of voting for that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why, dude, you're just the best, man. Love having you. Best producer in the biz. So that's the gist of what was going on in Florida. But my problem with the question is he's running for the president of the United States. This issue is not a federal issue anymore. It just got decided, just got kicked back to the states. Who cares what his opinion is on a Florida state issue when he's appealing to the national, voters out there, voters nationally.
Yeah.
He's
Why should
appealing
I
to everyone
answer
there.
this? I already
It has
disseminated
nothing
it
to
down
do
to
with what
states'
they're.
rights. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And his whole take on it is, this is not a federal issue anymore. It's out of the federal government's hands. It's back where it belongs with the states. And what I think is great for Florida might not necessarily work for the entire country. And I think that's actually pretty reasonable. Me and you, Juice, we're pro-lifers. Like, we have a different opinion on this. I don't mind sharing that opinion, but I understand why someone who's trying to run for president of the United States might want to try to moderate that position a little bit. Now, Kamala Harris, the people on the left have no interest in going moderate on this issue. And I think he did do a good job trying to call her on, will you put any restrictions on abortions? 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. That's where he was going with this. And the moderator injected herself to try and save her sorority buddy, right, Juice, and tried to fact check the Donald in real time. And we have that clip here too, Juice.
Tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Let's understand how we got here.
So why would she do that in real time and jump in like that?
When it's kind of questionable, or
Exactly.
we have some sort of proof that, I don't know, you want to explain it?
Yeah. So it's one thing if you're going to fact check somebody during a debate like that in front of the largest rating they're going to get at that time. It's the classic front page is, fact checked him, made him look stupid. The correction is going to be buried on page 15 a week later, which is what's happening here. So she comes in, says that, and again, I'm watching this with my wife, and she's like, "Oh, that's great. Like, what's he talking about?" And especially with the moderator being like, "There's no state in the country where it's legal to kill an infant." That's all she left it with. Now, what Juice is talking about is we do have a clip that we're going to actually put in the comments this week. I know we always say we're going to put something in the comments. I promise you, we really are going to put this one in the comments this week. But it's former governor Ralph Nader, I believe that's his name, right, Juice?
I know that is a name. I don't think that's him in
that's
this clip, though, is it?
No,
I don't know.
I think it is. I promise.
way,
I think it is.
yeah.
That's why you guys tune into us, right? We bring you nothing but
All the details.
all of it. So
everything but the details.
So he's the former governor of Virginia, and this issue came up, and it was an issue about basically botched abortion, like late term abortion, where obviously the act that's happening, something's being delivered, whether that baby is alive and viable as the baby is delivered is the difference between, I guess, a healthy pregnancy and a healthy delivery and in abortion. Now, what they're talking about in this radio interview, the clip that we didn't want to show it here because it's like a 2-minute clip. He rambles a little bit, but essentially he says that what they're going to do is deliver the baby, make the baby comfortable over on the side while the doctor and the mother decide what to do, have a discussion about what to do. Now, what to do means either keep the baby alive or let the baby die, which would be a baby that was delivered, that was born, that is now aborted, which is what Trump was talking about. He even makes reference to the former governor in that whole conversation.
Ralph Northam, not Nader.
Northam, Nader. Yeah. Thanks, Juice.
I think he was a conservative, right? Ralph Nader.
I think so. That name definitely sounds familiar.
Horrible name to get in the draw, though, right?
Yeah.
At school, Ralph Nader.
Yeah, not good. Not fun. So thank you for grabbing that for us. So that drives me nuts.
He admits it. Long story short, we're gonna put it in the comments. But he's on, we have a clip of him on a radio show, and discussing this process.
Exactly. And there are, according to Axios, I saw this going around the web too. There's 8 states currently in the United States that have no limitation at all on abortion. There's the thing that I saw was like a map of 6-week. These states in this color have 6-week abortion bans. These ones are at 16 weeks, and there's currently 8 of them that have no limit whatsoever, literally up until the moment of birth that you could have an abortion. So that's not very far-fetched what he's talking about, what Trump was talking about. Now, I did say when this came up, I'm watching with Ashley, we're talking about it, and his fault is that he's who he is, man. It's what makes him great, but he's not a policy honk. He's not this nerdy, stuffy politician who could deliver that in detail. And especially in a moment like that, it's hard to fully describe, this when you're getting bombarded from all sides of it. You're getting fact checked by the moderator. Harris is trying to give an answer to it. You're feeling, whatever. You're in a uncomfortable position there. And it's hard to be able to just boom, 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 say exactly. But what he brought up is not wrong. And it did not deserve a moderator to try to fact check him on it. So,
we got a real-time fact check here on this show. Ralph Nader ran, you might remember him from running for president 4 times with, the Democratic Party in 96, the Green Party in like 2000, the Reform Party, and as an independent in 2008.
Whew, is he on the ballot this year too?
Well, right? Can't you in those, like, I guess
that's why the name, I know the name.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Okay.
But he's not the guy in the clip.
He's not the guy. He's not in favor of the afterbirth abortions.
We don't know. Like, he was, but he's like an environmentalist, and he was that kind of guy.
Okay. All right.
Like a Mitt Romney or John Kerry. Same
that
guy.
Is hilarious.
Okay, keeping things moving.
All right. So if the moderators were going to decide to become fact checkers and throw themselves into the debate, how could they do that to the Donald and hit our boy with those types of things, but then let Harris say things like these clips are about to show you? So let's go with the first one, Juice, about the fine people, going back to this well.
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
That was debunked before the Biden debate. And Biden tried to use it. We talked about it here on the show.
And I think they said that, did they?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Snopes.
And dude, if anybody's team anti-Semitic, it's her crew.
Exactly. It's insane. Doug's just a cover for her. He's a big
Emhoff.
Jew. Yeah. Come on. So that just drives me nuts that she can say that. And then I don't know if you saw this either, Juice. After the debate, like a CNN expert came on and they had the fact check tally. 33 lies from Trump, 1 from Harris. That's what they tried to say. Like, come on.
Why are you doing, like, okay, the fact check stuff, like, let's get rid of it. It's bullshit. Or it can only be stuff that's like, in the okay, actually the second article of the, Constitution says what have you. Yeah. Or, actually, in the 4th Amendment against unlawful search and seizures or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, reading from something, not like, oh, your tone was a little off in that clip.
Thank you.
And then called that like that was the 30-second fact check. The tone wasn't sarcastic enough.
Yeah. Nope, not there.
Like, no, then we're not doing a scoreboard about it if you're not really facts.
Well, I want there to be like, sure, like exactly how you're describing, but you want a little bit of hyperbole to be involved. You want a little bit of opinion mixed in. You want a little bit of that.
On real policy stuff, though, there was a vote in, you know what I mean, where somebody put their name down on a vote. As a senator, actually, you voted for Bill XYZ that stated for
exactly. And you know what? I don't even think someone should have to be held exactly how they voted on every single thing either, but make him explain why, oh, you know what? 3 years ago, I may have voted in this way. It's because it was a bill that had 9 other things that I agreed with on it. And one thing that I'm like, I don't love, but this whole game of being a politician is a little give and take. Make them say that then, and that's okay. Yeah. Like, it's nuts to me.
Yeah, if you're gonna fact check, use facts. Don't. It's not like, oh, he kind of said this.
So don't let her say that, and then you're gonna call him out for every little thing that he says. And she went back. It was almost like in the same like span of about 5 minutes. She dropped like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lies like in a row, and just was able to do them. I couldn't believe it. I at this point, Ashley had gone to bed. I'm there by myself. I'm talking out loud to myself in the living room, like, they're really going with the fine people thing. Here comes the bloodbath. And of course, she comes in with it right here, Juice.
It's about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just follow up here.
It was a different term, and it was a term that related to energy because they have destroyed our energy business. That was where bloodbath was. Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked.
Good on him for jumping in with that too, and
Yeah.
and they actually let him.
I wonder
speak
if that
that-
guy, like, to give credit, I don't know. I wonder if that guy was going to say it. We don't know. But the way they were doing it to Trump, you know, where you heard the guy saying, "Oh, let me
Oh,
interject
yeah,
there
yeah,
for a
yeah.
second." I don't know that he was going to do that, but when they were doing it to Trump, it was like immediate right away. They let her get
Yeah.
out the full
Oh, yeah.
thought. If they were actually
Absolutely.
fact checking, they would have been like, "Actually, no, let me stop you there." Right? And that's
Yep.
what they were like doing to
Yep.
him. So
Yep.
yeah, I'll take that back. They let her do it.
Yeah, horrible. So
The bloodbath thing, like, still doing this.
bloodbath, like,
stuff?
come on, like, it's clear, like, so again, if you're on the Twitterverse there and you follow us, remember I'm at DDRuka617. Got to get that number up to 1,000. We're almost there. And Juice is the Juicebox 143-896. What was it?
At Juicebox1423.
There we go. So if you see us on Twitter, I definitely shared this along. But Libs of TikTok did one of those awesome side-by-side things where they showed that clip there of her calling the bloodbath thing, and then went right to Trump's actual clip.
Professor Clump, isn't that like an
Nutty
Eddie Murphy
Professor.
movie or something?
Yeah. So they go right to the real clip of Trump, though, saying it's going to be a bloodbath. And he's talking about the car industry, at his rally. So
it's a phrase.
We all know that one. That's been
a phrase, dude.
debunked.
Oh, dude, remember we did the whole thing of bloodbath?
Yeah.
That 2 minutes, someone made it, but it was
the
like 3
montage
minutes of,
of-
it's a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath. Bloodbath.
of course,
in the bloodbath.
Yep.
Dude, one thing, is this the end of the kind of fact-checking segment and moving on?
Yeah.
I got one thing to add that we didn't put in
What do you
here,
got?
and it's a little, out in left field that they've been talking about recently. But the in Ohio, the immigrants eating the cats and dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This was meant. Trump said
Oh,
it
yeah,
in one
Trump
of these
brought it
clips.
up.
Yeah, he's like, they're eating the dogs and doing the whole thing.
People's cats.
And they
and their
fact checked
dogs.
that. They fact checked that. Which one we
Oh,
should have
yeah.
put this in here.
Yep.
But they fact checked that and said, we talked to the city manager,
Mhm.
and he says there's no problem, nothing to see here, no problem with people
Yep.
eating cats and dogs. But the attorney general, Daniel or David Yost, says like, oh no, there are legit, valid calls
Coach Yost?
and reports of people eating pets. Like they went
Oh,
to the
my
city
God.
manager for the fact check, right? See
Yeah,
how
yeah,
valid
yeah.
are these fact checks? The attorney general is
yeah.
saying something different, but the
Yeah.
city manager
Yep.
is saying that it's not true. So like,
Yep.
how can that be a live on action fact check?
Horrible. And you really think ABC's tracking down a city manager in Springfield, Ohio to ask him about the cat population?
Yeah, but
Like,
then
no.
the attorney general is tweeting that it was valid.
Yeah,
So
it's
just
insane.
wanted to
And there's
add that
people-
in there.
there's
And I wanted to
real-life
talk about the
testimony.
cats and dogs.
No, because it's I believe it's true. It's like you see it going around. In that dude that we like that does the Trump, the phenomenal Trump impersonation. He's got a podcast too, like the Captain Deplorable. Remember that dude? He always
Yeah.
orders
You
at
go
the
to
drive-throughs
Shamrock
and stuff.
Shake and stuff.
Yeah. So he tweeted out, I saw this before the show, like this is gonna be that phase that we always get into. step one, this isn't happening. Like, you're crazy. Nothing to see here. Step two, it is
Who
happening.
cares if they're eating cats
who
and
cares
dogs?
if they're eating cats? Step three, we must eat the cats and dogs. It's good for you. Step four, you're a bigot. For you know what I mean?
What do you care? It's not your cat.
Yeah. That's where this is gonna go. So, because there's footage of actual citizens from that city,
Yeah,
like
snapping
talking
necks
about
and
it too.
stuff.
Yeah, there's dudes like talking in front of their city council meetings, like, this is happening. This is insane.
I'm pro letting them take the geese from the park though.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with
Some-
that. I hate those Canadian geese.
Yeah,
They got those
little shit everywhere.
long ass turds that are all over the place.
Yeah,
Try and go play
if
football
golf,
somewhere.
Yeah, golf.
Oh yeah,
Franklin Park.
Yep. Yep. They're everywhere.
Dude, we got to
So-
keep this a bit tighter.
I knew that
There's-
was coming.
Well,
That's
got a
true.
couple.
All right, so let's get to the end of the debate coverage here and give you what I think was Kamala's absolute worst moment of the night. She went to Chief Warren's bit when she came out and wanted to tell everybody out there in the audience that she has a plan.
I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country, one who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people. I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans and let's compare the plans. I have a plan to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction, to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their ideas, their hard work. I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life, to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan that is about allowing people to be able to pursue what has been fleeting in terms of the American dream by offering a help with down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. That's the kind of conversation, I believe, David, that people really want tonight, as opposed to a conversation that is constantly about belittling and name-calling. Let's turn the page.
Vice President
and move
Harris,
forward.
thank you. Let's turn to policy.
President
Let's
Trump,
turn back
we
to
have
policy.
to move on. President Trump.
Let's turn to policy,
She has
please.
a plan to defund the police. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President Trump,
she
we
has
do
a
have to
plan
move on to
not
other
allow
issues.
fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else.
Okay. Thank
That's
you,
what
Mr.
her
President.
plan is until just recently.
I just need
Lindsey,
to
go ahead.
respond
President
because
Trump-
the
President
former
Trump-
president has said
No, I'm
something
sorry.
twice that I need to
No,
respond to.
I'm sorry. We're
I just
going
need
to move on,
respond
Vice
one
President
time
Harris.
to what he has
President
said
Trump,
multiple-
I have a plan, Juice.
I don't know. Let it go. There's Martin Luther King.
Horrible. And she was nervous trying to deliver it. Her voice, she was doing that weird inflection with her voice at the beginning of it. She stuttered through it a little bit and remembered, like, okay, this was the talking point. This was the clearly rehearsed.
Yeah, and wipe that smile
I
off
have
your
a plan.
face. Like, this is serious business. At the very
Yeah.
beginning, she's like laughing.
Horrible. Like it was like the trained, like, okay, smile, like you're on camera, smile. That's what they want to see. Happy.
Joyful warrior.
Exactly. And it was just horrible. And her plans, well, $6,000 tax credit that they stole from Trump
7-minute
and
ad.
JD Vance.
Yeah.
The $25K for a first-time homeowner. She failed to mention that it's only going to be for minorities and someone who comes from a family that has never owned a home before. And it's just going to increase the cost of homes because the people that are selling just going to incorporate that 25K
Yeah, I know.
into their asking price.
yeah.
Okay.
And like, why wouldn't they? You're saying
Yeah,
that
exactly. $500,000 home now became a $525,000.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that's what they're saying about Trump with the tariffs. Like, why wouldn't that apply the same thing to that? Do you know what I mean? Where
the
they say,
tariff-
they increase. I'm saying that's what they say on the fact check. You know,
Oh,
if you
yeah,
put tariffs, it's just going to come
Well-
increase onto the citizens.
Obviously,
With the
and
25K.
I think we all can understand and realize that, yeah, tariff is a burden to us in a way. And I think the benefit of the Trump ones is that it's for a right purpose. Like I would be okay with putting tariffs on things coming from China because they're using our
We
money
want to use. I
try to
know we
take
want to build
over
it here,
us.
anyways. Like,
Exactly. So
yeah,
it's like if we're not willing to do that, then we're not willing to defend our own country. So it at least has a point. But you're right. That's the counter that the left tries to do when they talk about a Trump tariff, but they're silent when she's trying to give people 25K for a home. Like crazy.
hashtag no tax on tips. She didn't say
Yeah,
that in
exactly.
her plan.
And that was a moment that we left out too, where he offered to give her a MAGA hat
Yeah,
because she'd taken all of his best stuff. That was great.
and
I love it.
then Joe wore one,
Yeah,
and he
Joe
said
took him
like,
up.
"Dude, Joe hates you." Like, right? He was saying
Yeah.
Biden hates this
But you
guy.
know what though?
This
Again,
girl.
I'm still in this point. I don't know who I heard this one from, but like deep down, Biden probably does want Trump to win in a way because it will vindicate him. Like he doesn't like
Yeah, I
her.
could have helped.
Trump
And he's
did
like,
this.
"Oh, if you left me the candidate, if you didn't throw me out
Exactly.
like a dog, like a
Exactly.
dog-faced pony soldier."
Yeah, Jack. All right. On that note,
Yeah,
let's
dude,
take
what
this
if he
thing.
endorses Trump?
Dude, that would be
The
hilarious.
ultimate troll
It
thing
would
to
be
do, right?
hilarious.
While eating
Oh,
a cone, ice cream cone.
yep.
Jack.
Yep. All right. So, on that note, like I said, let's bring this thing home into our always fun, always popular, come on, man, segment of the day. And now, this is when we find a clip of somebody doing something, saying something that's so absurd, so ridiculous that even though we're going to make fun of them for a few minutes, there's not much else we could say to them except,
Man.
exactly. So, we're going to shift out of the debate and go to the other big story that happened over the weekend when Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was pulled over by the police for speeding. And what happened afterwards turned into a classic, black people in America are afraid of the police, unsafe anytime the police are around them. Police hate black people. They're trying to kill them, and we should probably just defund them and protest. And all of that jazz. So before we show you the actual footage, I guess I will say that Hill was pulled over for speeding on his way to the football game. He's a football player for the Dolphins. And the cop that pulled him over, the person you see in the clip when we're going to show it to you, may or may not have had one too many cups of coffee that day. I will say that. I will tell you guys that. Now, naturally, Hill, as a black man, should be leery and afraid and, scared for his life anytime anybody in a law enforcement uniform tries to speak to him or pull him over or interact with him. So say that out of the way. And before we show you the footage, let's Tarantino this a little bit and give you the reaction first. So I want to show you guys what Hill had to say to the media after the football game, after footage of this has already been released from the body camera stuff. And this is how Hill responded to the reaction.
Right now, so I've been trying to figure that out too. Man. Right now, I'm still trying to put it all together. So I'm not gonna give you a version that I still don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to be able to use this platform to say, like, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, bro? Like, worst case scenario, because it's crazy. Like, I want to be a cop one day. I got a state trooper hat, all that, so I got a lot of respect for cops, man. But obviously, everybody has bad apples in every situation, so I want to be able to, use this platform, to figure out a way to, like, flip this and, make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami-Dade, so that way we can team together and, do something positive for the community, because that's what it's all about, bro. Like, you guys are here to, like, protect us as individuals, and, I have a platform and I want to be able to team up with you guys, so that's all I got to say.
All right. So you guys heard that. You would think that Tyreek Hill, rolled through a stop sign, got pulled over, pleasantly presented his insurance, his identification. Yes, sir. No, sir. what can I do? I apologize. Won't happen again. And for some reason, these people just, beat him up, needlessly threatened him, and just completely viciously attacked him, all because of the color of his skin. Now, that's what I would take from that. And that question of what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill really, really stands out to me, and not in the way that he hopes it does. So he hopes that you ask yourself that question and you wonder about this, and you come away with like, hey, if he wasn't Tyreek Hill, they would have killed him on the spot. They would have, he would have been the next George Floyd out there. Someone who overdosed while, handcuffed by police. That's what he would have you believe. Now, what if he wasn't Tyreek Hill has a different meaning to me. Now, to me, I hear that and I say, if he wasn't Tyreek Hill, would he have been so condescending, cocky, uncooperative, outright rude, and disrespectful to the police that pulled him over? Would he have acted like someone who had something to hide when given a lawful command? Now, I don't know. I'm not sure. Is this man a rich, entitled, spoiled athlete who, effed around and found out when he interacted with the police? I guess we can go to the video, Juice, if you want to pull that up, and we can see the interaction, and you guys tell me, what's going on here.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why what? Why you have it up? Sit down. Hey! Keep your window down. Manny. Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me your ass, bro. Get out of the car. Give me your ass. I'm gonna break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 What part of law don't you understand? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out.
You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little fucking confused.
I'm getting out, bro.
Too late.
Chill,
Too late.
All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
We are. We will.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey, Drew. Hey.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. Can you stop crying?
Bro. Y'all.
Don't move.
Good. Bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
You set him up?
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for? Damn, bro, dude beating on my window like he crazy.
So, I don't know about you, Juice. Like, I don't know if this has to do with me just strictly being a white guy. I don't know if this is because my father was a police officer. But I'd like to think it's just because I have common sense that anytime I've ever been pulled over, my hands are on the steering wheel, my window is rolled down, and I listen to what the officer tells me to do.
Rolling that window up is the worst possible. That was the darkest tint I've ever seen. And
of course,
like one at a minimum, your window would get smashed, you would think.
Yes.
Like that was, you couldn't see in there. Like I wouldn't be like want to stand right up next to a window.
No.
And somebody, I can't see inside the glass and there.
You don't know what he has in there. You don't know who this person is. You haven't, they're just conducting the stop. They have no clue what they're walking into there. And this man
rolling the window up is crazy.
Rolling the window up.
The guy gets a little, out of control too at times later
Of
in the
course.
clip. Like, yeah, he had one too many, but like rolling the window up is what starts that whole thing.
And it all goes back to like the same thing. We'll mix in. I brought it up already, so I guess I'll stay there. With when you look at the George Floyd stuff, once you get into a situation like that as a police officer, everything is heightened until you're able to leave the scene and figure out what happens. Like they should be on high alert. Their adrenaline is going to be raised at that point. And in the Floyd situation, you have this guy here, and the crowd was growing and growing and growing, and they're surrounded, 4 officers surrounded by a mob of people. You don't know what's going to happen next. And yes, I think the cop in this Tyreek Hill situation was definitely like a little too supercharged once they got him in cuffs and they got him, out of the car and stuff. Other
He kind
players,
of slammed him down on the
he did.
ground later. Yeah.
And other people pulled up, and like there are other players like trying to jump in and like say stuff about it. At that point, though, like I'm sorry, I don't want people pulling over, getting out of their cars, coming over to it, people walking by. No, you need to secure the situation. Basically, you don't know who's rolling up on you, and yeah, again, like I said, a little bit supercharged is what everyone's going to hang on. But this whole situation never has to happen if this jackass just keeps his window down and gives him his license. Like you're gonna don't knock on my window. Don't knock on my window, bro. Don't knock on my window, bro. Like who the F do you think you are?
Bro,
And
at
that
the
goes
other
back to the who, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill?
did he
Sorry.
say on the Tyreek, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill thing? Did he say he wants to be a cop?
Yeah, said I wanted to be a cop at one point.
I thought he said he likes. I don't know
No, I
that
think
he
he
said
said wanted to,
wanted. I
or
don't know if
wants
it
to
was.
be. What, he's like Shaq? He's gonna get like a deputy like somewhere? But get out of here. And he's like, I have nothing but respect for law enforcement. You showed right there you have no respect for law enforcement. Like it's easy to say after the fact, but actions speak louder than words here, right? Like you clearly don't have respect for these people.
I don't know if this is getting brought up or whatever, if it matters, but yeah, it definitely matters this day and age. Like it didn't seem like any of the immediate cops were white, weren't they? Like Hispanic?
Yeah,
Guy
yeah.
or something?
I don't know for sure. Like, but
Keep
the
me
guy
out of it.
talking
You know what I
clearly
mean?
had a Hispanic accent.
Yeah.
100%. So like that guy's definitely seemed Hispanic to me. And I want to pull
on the spot fact check. Actually,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
their dissent is
Exactly. So I want to pull something from a statement that was released from the Dolphins, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's like 3 paragraphs
sure.
long.
We have like a ton of time.
Oh yeah. We're way past that time. But they say something here, and I'm quoting from what they say here. Quote, as is on full display in the videos released tonight, there are some officers who mistake their responsibility and commitment to serve with misguided power. While we condemn MDPD for taking the right and necessary action to quickly release this footage, we also urge them to take equally swift and strong action against the officers who engaged in such despicable behavior. End quote there. So that's them calling for these officers to be fired over this. Now, my question though, Juice, is do they take any responsibility? Is anybody urging the Miami Dolphins to take any action, strong action against their player for conducting himself in such an egregious, unprofessional, rude, manner that he carried himself in during that whole incident? Do they hold him?
I didn't hear that.
Anything there?
I didn't hear that, but I heard him talking about, and there's some bad apples. NFL has a lot of bad apples.
Exactly. This guy's already got a rap sheet that's as long as the flag behind me. He's got multiple children by multiple women. He has been arrested for assaulting a woman before. He's not a good person. He's not a good guy. And that doesn't factor into how he should be treated when he's pulled over for speeding, but it goes to show the character of the person there. And I'm sorry, he's not just like he's He's a black man in America, sure, but he's not Steve Urkel, who's a geeky nerd who got pulled over and is just getting thrown out of his car because he's black and he did something and he did nothing wrong. This guy got pulled out of his car because he treated the police with disrespect. He disobeyed a lawful command, and he tried to put their lives in danger by rolling up a window where they couldn't see what was inside that car and have no clue what he could or could not have had on him at that time. So 100% justifiable for them to drag him out of the car and do what they did. With their emotions running high, did they maybe get a tad aggressive? Sure. But I honestly think that they would probably treat anybody like that. I swear to God, I wish I didn't have a wife and a child, two children, a child, wife and children to care about here, or I would drive around outside trying to get myself pulled over and video me reacting the exact same way Hill did and see what the police would do to me. Cause I'm pretty sure they would probably do the exact same thing to me as they did to him.
Are you closer to Urkel or Hill?
I'm probably closer to Hill, I think, but or maybe just Doug Hefferman from King of Queens. I might be more like that dude.
Backwards hat, same bit.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe
we can find someone.
Urkel gets out of the car. Did I do that?
Yeah, Urkel would have complied, man. He would have been fine. So I don't know. I just think it's crazy, and of course, it's something that they're going to use to try to divide people racially. And don't buy into the bullshit. Watch the video. Your gut, what it would tell you, and don't let people gaslight you into believing that the police are out to get black people because of that. You got anything else to add to the Hill thing? All right, Awesome. So with that being said, thank you guys for hanging in there with us tonight. Sorry we went a little long, and until next week, thanks
for having me. You don't want to do and for that, Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins, you have earned yourself one big, fat, classic.
Come on, man.
And
Woo!
that
will do it. Dude, episode 93, Juice.
I know.
Dying over here.
You'll figure it out by 100.
Missing all my cues.
By 100. That will be exciting. Keep it clean on 100.
Yes, absolutely. All right, folks. Well,
thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
See you later. Enjoy the show, brother.
I will.
The movie. Okay.
The Right and Wrong Show is produced by Juice. Executive producer, Juice. Audio mixer is Juice. Hair by Skull Shavers. Wardrobe and makeup by Ashley Ruka. Right and Wrong song created by Juice. The Right and Wrong Show is copyright 2022 from Brian Ruka.